Between Life and Death by Jaclyn. Chapter 36. I don't believe it. Harper shook her head. I know, right? I said as I sat on the arm of the leather chair in the sitting room, my feet tucked between Vaughn's legs. Vaughn sat in the chair, his fingers drawing irregular shapes on the small of my back. What? You don't believe what? Riker asked as he entered the room. He dabbed a towel over his forehead, his skin glistening with a post-workout sheen. Come here, Harper instructed, waving her twin over. I stifled a laugh as she moved his face inches from Vaughn, like he needed to be that close to see the change in his irises. It was as drastic as night was today. Riker whistled low as he leaned back, slinging the towel around his neck. He looked at me, then Harper, and then back at Vaughn. How? I shrugged nonchalantly, but I slipped in a warning look to Vaughn not to say anything. He tasted Sage's sweet tang. Harper exclaimed, the words hitting me as softly as a pillowcase stashed with bricks. Vaughn smirked. The bastard even nodded, to my complete and utter mortification. I couldn't trust either of them to keep their big traps shut. Vaughn and Harper were no better than a bunch of gossipy hens. Riker shot me an impressed nod. There you are, Soren panted to Riker as he rushed into the room. Bending over, he placed his hands on his legs, his shoulders heaving as he wrestled for breath. I've been looking all over the place for you, he exclaimed. I was just outside training. Riker's broad, muscular shoulder performed a careless shrug. Harps told me there was a meeting. He walked over to the settee and flopped down, his head landing in Lyra's lap. She smiled at him, her small hands patting his head. Whoa! Soren huffed between breaths as he flopped into a leather chair, his arms dangling over the arms, feet spread out limply before him. His face was tinged red, and I wondered just how much of the mansion he had covered in his search for Riker, and how quickly he had covered it. The poor guy looked like he ran a marathon. Clearly, he'd taken that 10-minute commitment seriously. Vaughn, on the other hand, certainly had not. Heat dusted across my cheeks as I recounted the past 30 minutes with him. Goddess divine. That tongue. It was sinister, demanding, branding, and utterly sinful. I would have to pray to the gods for the sake of my soul later. Vaughn's emerald eyes met mine, and satisfaction and pride stirred within me. Like I had laid my own claim on him for all the world to see, the evidence written clearly in those breathtaking eyes. Since we'd left his room, Vaughn kept me close, always within reach, whether that be by the caress of his shadow or his touch. It felt primal, protective, rooted in something I didn't quite understand. But I wanted to. Vaughn, Soren started, his breath finally recovered. Your eyes are green. I sighed and flopped my head into my hands, waiting for Harper to spill the beans. But it was Vaughn who spoke first. They do that sometimes. My brow shot up at his quick answer, which was sorely lacking. He had no problem admitting to Riker what had caused the change in his eyes. He even seemed proud about it, but for some reason, he was holding back from telling Soren why. I searched Vaughn's carefully masked face for answers but found none. So, about the meeting, Harper drawled as she settled onto the arm of the settee beside Lyra, her arm draping over the back. Right, the meeting. I stood up, the words ready to explode off the tip of my tongue. A smile sprawled across my lips as I said, I know where Caleb is, and I'm going to need everyone's help. My admission hooked their attention. Even Riker shifted from his supine position and sat up. For the next 3 hours, we delved into planning mode. Somewhere in the middle of our talks, that am I dreaming feeling began to shift, giving way to reality. I realized that this was it. We were going to get Caleb back.